Hello and welcome, my dear friend. Let's start with something simple but often overlooked. God does not love you for what you've achieved. He does not measure you by the medals you've earned or the milestones others celebrate. But He admires the way you never gave up trying. He loves that you kept moving forward, not because you were chasing more to have, but because your heart wanted to bring ease, peace, and stability for yourself and for those around you. Even when your effort didn't bring the outcome you hoped for, it carried a fragrance heaven could not ignore. That's why His love for your character is so steady. It isn't tied to results. It's tied to the posture of your heart while you were in motion. Character is rarely glamorous. It shows itself in how you handle small, unpolished moments, returning what wasn't yours, speaking gently when you could have been sharp, keeping your word even when nobody checked in to see if you did. These are not headline-making actions, but they are the fabric of a life that heaven finds beautiful. Think about it. Character is not about polish. It's about persistence. A clay pot that's been fired in the furnace may have cracks, but if it still holds water, it has value. You've walked through furnaces that could have left you empty, but instead, you came out still holding compassion, still holding kindness. That's what God cherishes in you. And here's what makes this unique. Your character didn't grow in gentle gardens. It formed in places where pressure was constant. Not the easy pressure of daily tasks, but the kind that gnaws at the soul. Unfair treatment, long nights of waiting, silence that made you wonder if heaven was listening. Through all of that, you kept weaving threads of honesty, loyalty, and gentleness into the fabric of your days. God loves your character because it mirrors His own. He is the God who stays steady when storms roar, the one who keeps giving when humanity turns away. And when He looks at you, He sees echoes of His own nature stitched into your responses. Not because you never stumbled, but because even in stumbling, you reached for the light instead of the shadows. And maybe you didn't think of it that way. Maybe you called it just doing what I could. But to heaven, those choices are not small. They are living evidence that goodness still has a vessel in this world. You became a place where mercy could keep flowing. You became a doorway for peace to walk through. Character isn't measured by perfection. It's measured by resilience. It's not about whether every detail of your past was flawless. It's about the way you stood back up when life could have convinced you to stay down. It's about the way you kept tenderness alive when hardness would have been easier to carry. Let's make this more concrete. Imagine a lantern burning late at night. The oil is nearly gone. The wind keeps pressing against the flame, yet somehow it refuses to go out. That's what your character has been. A light that keeps burning when conditions say it shouldn't. And God sees that, not with pity, but with pride. He treasures your character because it tells a story outcomes cannot capture. Success can be faked. Noise can be staged, but the durability of your spirit cannot be copied. It was forged through decisions that cost you something: sleep, comfort, maybe even relationships, but you never surrendered the essence of who you are. And here's the deeper truth. Your character is not fragile. It doesn't disappear when you make mistakes. It doesn't unravel when a day goes wrong. It bends, it adjusts, but it returns to alignment because the roots are deep. That's why heaven holds it in such regard. It's alive, flexible, and real, not a mask that shatters when pressure comes. You've been building this quietly, brick by brick. Some days it looked invisible, even to you, but in the unseen, heaven was watching mortar dry, foundation set, beams strengthened. What looks ordinary on the outside is extraordinary to God because He knows the weight of what it took to build it. And because of that, your character has become like a signature. Every time you chose truth over convenience, every time you extended patience when frustration would have been easier, every time you carried kindness into spaces where it didn't return to you, it wrote your name in places you couldn't see. That's why His love is drawn to it. It isn't only about who you are in the light of day, but about the pieces of yourself that held together in the dark. The restraint you showed when words burned on your tongue, the forgiveness you extended before apologies came, the faith you held when evidence was thin. These are not accidents, they are the architecture of character. And God loves it because it means your soul is not shallow. You have depth, and depth is what He builds futures on. So when I say God loves your character, hear it as more than a gentle phrase. It is acknowledgement from heaven that the hidden structure of your life can carry what's ahead. It is proof that the way you've chosen to live, even when results disappointed you, has become a foundation unshaken by circumstance. When God loves something, He multiplies it. That's the beauty of His nature. He doesn't admire from a distance, He invests. And because He loves your character, He is already weaving opportunities around you that fit what you've been shaping inside. Think of it like this. A strong seed draws rain. Farmers don't waste water on barren soil, but when they see life rising, they pour more into it. Heaven has been doing the same with you. The depth of your character is drawing new supply, fresh connections, and a level of protection you might not even recognize yet. This is where the shift begins. People may have overlooked what you carried, but God has been attending to it closely, not as a reward for perfection, but as a natural flow from the strength of who you've become. Because here's the truth, character is not just admired in heaven, it is trusted. And what God trusts, He expands. His affection for what you've built is not soft sentiment, it's structural. It means He can build legacy through you. Not just blessings that end with you, but blessings that flow beyond you. Your children, your community, even strangers you'll never meet, will taste the fruit of the character you've been growing. And here's the part that may surprise you. The same traits that once made you feel out of place are the exact reasons heaven leans on you now. Your patience, your refusal to harden, your quiet resilience, these weren't weaknesses. They were ingredients for leadership. Not leadership in the loud, self-promoting sense, but in the way that shifts the course of a moment the second you arrive. Think about how a river carves stone. It doesn't shout, but over time, it changes entire landscapes. That's what your character is doing. Slowly, steadily, it is reshaping places that once seemed immovable. And this is why heaven values it so deeply, because it is fruitful in ways outcomes can't measure. Awards fade, titles expire, but character keeps rippling outward long after the moment has passed. Now let me be honest with you. This kind of strength inside does not mean life gets easier. In fact, it often means you'll be stretched more, but stretched for a reason. When God sees that your inner structure can carry more, He entrusts you with more. That's why certain exchanges don't feel casual anymore. Why the quiet between you and others carries weight it didn't before. Why some who once brushed past you now hesitate, as if they sense something has changed. It isn't coincidence. It's the evidence of who you've become. Here's something you might not have thought about. Your character is also a shield. The honesty you've carried is guarding you from traps. The mercy you've chosen is protecting you from cycles of bitterness. The humility you've lived in is keeping you from falling into pride's pit. You didn't just build character. Character is now building a covering around you. And remember this strength is not conditional. It's not something you earn one day and lose the next. It's a steady gaze from heaven, a constant acknowledgement of the choices you've made again and again, even when it cost you. My dear friend, hear me clearly. You are standing on a threshold. The unseen has already shifted. The qualities that once made you tired from holding them up will now start carrying you forward. Where others thought you were simply enduring, heaven knew you were laying tracks for a train that was always going to run. Your character has become more than survival. It has become a vessel for God's movement in the earth, a lamp that refuses to go out, a root system that refuses to let storms win, a steady rhythm that refuses to bow to chaos. And what stayed alive in you through trial is now the bedrock of everything ahead. That foundation cannot be taken from you. Not now, not never. Thank you so much for taking this journey with me. If you found value in this message, please like the video and share it with others who might benefit. Don't forget to subscribe and continue your amazing journey by watching one of the videos showing on your screen that resonates with you the most. See you there.